Field Report, Combat Observation Officer, 64th Mountain Division, Free Indonesia, May 1938. The operation to create a beachhead at the northern island of Sumatra has been conducted successfully, albeit with great difficulty. While our specialists were well versed in warfare in inaccessible terrain, crossing a strait against determined and professional defenders is another matter altogether. The Germans held the Pulau Islands guarding the coast and the port of Bakauheni, which we would need to take in order to advance north and link up with the rebel forces. Lacking suitable equipment, our troops had to improvise. We requisitioned what boats we could get our hands on from the locals, mostly dinghies and fishing barges. We managed to take Sangyang Island, which lays about 12 kilometers off the coast, unopposed, meant to be used as a staging ground. But that presented a new problem, since the island was uninhabited and had no source of fresh water. In the searing heat, we had to ferry supplies across at night to avoid the watchful eyes of the German Air Force. From there, we sent out the first assault groups, guided by local fishermen, to neutralize the three main enemy positions on the islands at the harbor entrance, before finally committing the main force, albeit piecemeal due to a shortage of boats. The Germans, of course, had been forewarned by the explosions on their forward positions and offered fierce resistance. Many good men lost their lives trying to get their boats close to the beach under fire. Eventually, we managed to position two of our mountain guns on a sandbank at low tide and lay some suppressing fire onto the defenders. Many more would die until we finally held the landing and pushed the exhausted Germans back inland. We then handed the beachhead over to the rebels in order to rush back and deal with the naval landing of German East Asian troops near the capital, but we just don't have enough men to deal with the fluid situation, and lack of specialized equipment and training slows us down too much to react in time. The situation in Indonesia is actually pretty dire. The rebels who were holding the beachhead have immediately been pushed back in a counterattack by the German troops, and we are dealing with at least 8 enemy divisions, from what I can tell. So I don't think the eastern line here is going to be holding for a very long time either. And we only have 2 completely exhausted mountain divisions at our disposal. So I think the attack south against the Sumatra division is not going to be particularly successful, and we are going to have to first regroup here in this position, and so we'll immediately stop the assault. We'll have to regroup here and look for a potential opportunity to cut off enemy troops. I'm expecting the Germans to continue the push from the north, so we are going to be hard pressed to make something happen here. With the rebels losing ground on all the other islands, the rebellions have been put down, and in the north there are some rebel troops available, but few and far in between. So I don't think they're going to be particularly effective. What we can do is see if we have some equipment. We have some infantry equipment around, so that's probably what they're mostly in need. They are already okay. We are already sending equipment. We have so far not delivered any, and it's going to take 24 days until the next arrives. So, okay, infantry equipment is already on the way. Sorry, I have been away for a bit, so I completely forgot what everything was going on here. We have a few other theaters where we're fighting. We are trying to crack that Japanese Fengtian position across the river here, and I think that also is a position that we are going to have to retry to crack. It is somewhat fortified, and the mountain troops are having a devil of a time getting in there. So we'll let them rest first and regain some organization, rearm, and then we'll have another go. Things are going somewhat better in the Pacific States, where we have arrived with the tanks and we're just defending at the moment, at a position where we can potentially start encircling a few troops. Strategically, the obvious goal is Chicago. I think the first goal was meant to be, yes, from the offensive orders, is going to be Minneapolis, because that is the sort of supply direction we're going to be taking. I don't think we want to go directly from Omaha towards Chicago. I think Minneapolis, the northern route, is potentially better. But first of all, we're going to have to reduce the amount of enemy divisions in the area. How's it looking overall? The syndicates, from what we know, have probably, if I take the average of that, about 80 divisions. We have probably half of that, more like 50 divisions. Well, maybe with the help of the Union State that might have a few, we might actually have rough parity between the two. But if we can reduce that, that will be great. So first of all, we'll have to defeat that counterattack. Now, what else is going on here? We're currently... we're still dealing with unrest. We've got some right-wing, left-wing anger, but very, very little. I think, currently they are neutral, so there's very little. We are working on reducing the German influence. Somebody mentioned a few things that people mentioned, actually, in the comments. Somebody mentioned that I am losing civilian factories, and that's probably civilian industry to target country, the plus 18% here. Where am I seeing this, however? Because I don't see that here. Do I see it here? I don't see that here either. So it's not part of the consumer goods factory. It might be just somewhere hidden that it's not actually showing up here, but I'm actually losing economic output to Germany. So yes, this is ongoing in 20 days. So June 23rd, we'll have to take the next one, which means we are going to have to bank political power. And that has to happen. So there's still a lot of things that need doing, and very little political power to do it. We're working on the Imperial Advisory Council currently to increase the imperial popularity. Which is this going to increase our war support? Which is that really what I need? What we need right now, because we already have a moderate imperial popularity. Well, we've got a few things. So people talked about the third Rome. I think they meant third Europe. It's the foreign policy branch to expand the Moscow Accord. Because right now, if we are looking at the factions, the Moscow Accord contains pretty much us. So there are opportunities potentially to get a few other countries to join the Moscow Accord, which is especially the oil-rich territories around Georgia and Azerbaijan might be interesting. Azerbaijan is. And there are some, the Germans obviously get some of this oil, but depriving the Germans of the oil from this region might be quite valuable. So there are definitely things we need to do there. Also, Petrograd security, I think, is something that we will need pretty quickly in order to get that all underway. We do, however, have to get up our synthetic chemistry as well. I think we have a research on that. Yes, synthetic oil experiments is researching, and we still have obviously the whole army tree to do, as well as some more democratic things. We do not have the 30% on the cadets right now for addressing the people, for 10% base stability. We've got the democratic curriculum still, which is going to anger the right-wingers, but it is a prerequisite for the judicial reform, which is also going to allow us to, which is going to give us some good benefits here. And we can, getting up to stable democracy, all of these things are important. But right now, I think we are in a decent state. So we are we've still got the Kazakh emergency as well. Oh yeah, that one. We've got to do the assimilation of the bandit states. So I'm almost feeling that, the big benefit here is that we get the political advisor costs down, because we still have to fill up the political advisors, and we are really short on political power. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. I wonder when we get rid of the whole right-wing, left-wing anger thing. Let's have a quick look. Anger, if I'm looking for anger, it's probably somewhere at the bottom. No, that just increases it, decrease. This all just increases anger, which is not particularly what we want. And it's a post-war. Oh dear. Okay. That is actually, that means I'm going to have to deal with this all the way through the campaign, basically, until Germany is defeated. So that's here to stay, which means since we can't really get anything out of the press censorship, and it is really having a, it is, okay, so the press censorship campaigns now will actually weaken our democratic outlook, which makes sense because we are a democratic Russian Empire and we do not wish to censor the press. So it's the pro-labor legislation and patronizing of churches, which is the only thing that we can use to get rid of the anger mechanics as soon as they reach 3. So I guess we'll have to just balance the 2, I guess, then, as much as we can, wherever that comes up. All right. Italy, other fronts. Italy, the Socialist Italian Republic actually is making gains here and has managed to encircle some of the Republican troops around Milan. The Papal State to Sicily's assault from the south has ground to a halt. And in India, it looks like the commune is getting squeezed, which is all right by me. But that's all. That's all the conflicts I think going on right now. Not sure. Yeah, they're still fighting between the Peru-Bolivian Confederation, which has taken over Ecuador, if I'm not mistaken, and they are fighting Paraguay currently. If anyone goes up against Argentina, we might be interested to join. All right, so that should be us back at I think. So for now, the most critical front line is this one. So we'll see if we can dig in here. And this is mountainous, yes. So there are some plains here, but they're guarded by a river. How's the supply situation in here? So currently they're holding the port, which is key, and they're holding the supply hub at Bandung. So that's the 2 positions that we potentially need to contest if we want to have any hope of dealing with this massive naval incursion. I am also considering to give the Mountain Division a second artillery gun, because second line artillery. This would bring up the combat width to 30, which is the goal. And obviously, we'll have to wait for a while for this to be delivered. But I think that would be, giving them some additional firepower is not a bad thing. 5, that's 5 combat experience we can spare. Eventually, we are going to have to upgrade a lot of these divisions because they're missing, for example, the Mountaineers are missing the engineering troops, the engineering combat support. But let's not get ahead of ourselves for now. Are we training any divisions? We're not training any divisions, so let's change that. We have, how many mountain divisions do we actually have? We have 7 mountain divisions. That's not a bad number, but we could probably get, we should probably think about, I'm not sure if we actually need marine divisions, especially that they are currently not in a great state. That's probably something for later. So let's get maybe one more. That's our Special Forces Cup. So one more of these, and we can get a few more guard infantry divisions trained up. That's probably not a bad thing as well. So let's just get a few trained up just to bolster our numbers a little bit. All right, so for now, Chinese volunteers, we have aborted, we have disconnected ourselves from that assault. This one we have to defend first, and then we'll go on the counteroffensive. And Indonesia is where we're going to keep an eye on. And there is one decision available. Oh yeah, the field testing equipment. Yes. So I haven't actually seen which divisions got this medal. it grants the equipment, the medals to 4 random divisions, but I have to spend 500 funds, which means the 500 funds don't go to upgrading the actual MIO. So right now I'm going to leave that and just upgrade the MIO. All right, so that means we can disable that so we don't look at it all the time. And I'll have to find the medals at some point. All right, let's see what the enemy is doing here while we are digging in for now. And I am actually, we could try to, no, I'm not going to try and defend the, so we could try to defend this position. And we could probably hold it for a while, but we have to go on the offensive because otherwise, yeah, the Indonesian rebellion is just going to collapse. So we are going to shorten the line here. And in fact, probably extend it north. All right, so we are going to stay here. And if anything, we're going to support the defense of the capital. We might have an opportunity to break here, though, to break through south. We'll see. We'll stay here first. So stay in position, regain some organization. And then see if we can have an opportunity to break south or east. East would be good, but it would have to be on a counterattack because there's absolutely no way we're doing this otherwise. And of course, things are never easy at home. The Cossacks have won autonomy after the loyal support of the White armies and have ever since been a thorn in the side of Russian democracy. Yes, Russia's federal constitution is meant to respect local traditions and cultures, but many liberals have nothing but scorn and criticism towards the host system, which is seen as a military fief system that simply provides the government with easily mobilized forces who won't hesitate to shoot fellow Russians. It's a fine line between respecting traditions, cultures, and cultural peculiarities within a multicultural empire, and letting people just run rampant. The worst host to many is the Don host. There, Atman Pyotr Krasnov has reigned as the host's dictator since 1918. He is an outspoken reactionary, a former member of the SOR, and a man who has nothing but scorn towards the democratic process. How do you deal in a democratic system with people who don't like the democratic system? To a degree, you have to, well, do something about them, because otherwise you end up not having one anymore. Though some would say he has kept the Don host safe from agitation and banditry, he has also done everything in his power to harass the operations of democratic and socialist groups in the area, suppressing trade unions and fought against land reforms. However, he enjoys both the support of the Don Cossacks and the army, so replacing him is difficult without outright abolishing the host system. To make matters more annoying, his main opposition came from Pavel Agiyev's populist Cossacks. The same Agiyev, who was a minister under Savinkov, an SZRS member, and is currently in prison. So we had the choice between, we had the choice between a far right guy and this guy. Until the host can be abolished, our options are limited. If we wish to pick a fight with Krasnov, we could try to force him to implement more democratic reforms and challenge him in the Supreme Court if he refuses. This kind of meddling in Cossack affairs would draw their ire, but it would show our base that we are serious. All right, so it's probably a left versus right kind of decision. We can do slow reform, which has 3% base stability, which is good, but increases the left-wing anger. Let's have a quick look what the angers did. So the right-wing anger costs us political power, the left-wing anger costs us stability and factory output. We would get stability, but then lose stability and factory output. Or we can get tough on him, which angers the right, which is going to cost us political power gain, which is not good. But it gives us 20 political power, which is actually something we need urgently in order to kick off the... Oh, we also have this. Okay, so that's something we need to do as well. Okay, more political power. No, but the priority is in 19 days, we need to take another decision on the German capital, and I need the political power for that. So that might actually be rather tempting. Plus, it reduces paternal autocracy and authoritarian democracy. So that would be the Russian army with paternal autocrat. That would be reduced. And this one as well, the SOR. And then we've got, I don't even see any other Oh no, these are the orthotherms and these are the paternals. Okay, so these two would be reduced, which would give us additional impact, which is going to improve political power gain as well. Plus, we're still going to get a stability modifier plus 10%, which is good. So I think that. Yes, we could probably go and take down Krasnov simply out of current considerations, as we need the backing of the party in order to work on the German capital situation, and the left annoying the right in this way and challenging Krasnov is probably going to be a first step towards a liberal democratic order. And gives us the political power we currently need. So that's what we're going to be doing, which gets me up to 56 political power, which is good. We're not reforming the Cossack host now. We have to do that at some point, but not now. And we're not doing these at this point either. So I'm going to disable these as well, because while these are great, and they are actually, at least the gold mines are quick at this point, we need the political power to pick one of the German capital decisions pronto. Okay, so that needs to happen. All right, back to operations on the ground, and let's see where everyone is moving, and if they are starting to counterattack. I'm waiting for the Borneo division to move out. There is the Sumatra division that is stationed here in the mountains, but we potentially have an opportunity to attack and cut them off. Okay, they are moving out. They're going to move out here, but if we can, let's attempt to attack and cut off these two divisions here. And if they're holding here against, they should be able to hold the straits against any kind of assaults from the north. So if we can manage to break here, we might be able to destroy two enemy divisions and whittle them down a little bit. Mexico has declared war in Guatemala. So South America, Central and South America is rapidly disintegrating. Mexico is actually national, so they're taking on the syndicalists in Guatemala, and they're probably going to succeed with that. Since we're here, where are my tank divisions? Okay, so the assault has ended, which means we can immediately go on the counterattack. And we get the 3rd and the 5th to break through all the way south to friendly lines and try to encircle enemy troops here. Volunteers here are regaining their organization, and then we'll join the attack again once that's done. And in Indonesia, we have to keep a very close eye on the situation. We're trading some ground here, but hopefully we can get the Borneo division and, more importantly, the Schutztruppendivision, the 156th, to go into a trap. The question is if we can break through this Sumatra division here quickly enough that we can take the territory before reinforcements arrive, because if that happens, then we are going to be unable to enact anything. But it looks like our troops in the east are actually falling. They're still holding Surabaya, but I think they are very, very low on. They're running very low on equipment at this point. Hopefully, our deliveries arrive soon. But the big question is, can we break through? Can we break through and cut off these two divisions here before any kind of reinforcements arrive? The Russian Far East has captured the imagination of the public as a romanticized wilderness full of dashing Cossacks adventuring in the Orient. This is like the mirror image of the West and the cowboys. But in practice, it is mostly distinguished by its lawlessness. Same thing, yeah. These endless lands are hard to keep in order, and smuggling is endemic in the region. Chinese and Russian merchants and bandits smuggle gold out of Russia and vodka and opium in. Not something we particularly enjoy. In many regions, impoverished border guards merely take part of the profits instead of moving against the criminals. As they would, yes. Pay your people properly, otherwise you get corruption. For a long time, it's been a simply accepted fact that the Manchurian border, so here pretty much, is impossible to keep in order, but ultimately it is merely a matter of funding and priorities. To combat the smuggling, we could simply direct more resources to the border guards. Or, as some more far-sighted ministers propose, start a proper social development program in the Far East, seeking to improve the livelihoods of everyone in the region, which would also reduce the base for criminal activities. So either we can just pay the police better, or we can improve everybody's standard of living so they stop resorting to banditry. What is it going to cost us, however? Because we are a few days away from having to assault the Germans again, economically that is. So if we increase security at the border, we get 3% stability. It costs 5,000 manpower and a bit of infantry equipment. That is something I can work with. Regional development is going to cost 50 political power. That I unfortunately do not have. I would like this. We get additional building slots, war support. That would be really ideal, but it costs 50 political power, which we simply don't have because we are going to take on the Germans next. We can't do the tariff wall yet because it would cost us too much instability. We can't. We would probably have to do one of the 50 political power ones. So unfortunately, we don't have the... Now, how can we simply employ the bureaucracy to... this has got 13 days left, and we've got... now, we can't. I was thinking if we could just bureaucratically delay the decision until the BASF acquisition is done, and then deal with it. But unfortunately we can't, because that still takes 16 days and this one times out in 13. So we cannot, which means we have to 50 political power. That gets us back to 10. We currently have 1 per day, so that's 16, so that brings us to 26, which means we'll be delayed by 24 days. That's almost a month. No. Sorry, we can't do that. We can just ignore it, but no, we're increasing border security. I would have loved to do the development, but we don't have currently the decision power to do so. All right, back to the critical positions. So let's have a quick look at the Americans. Are we breaking through, getting some counterattacks from the New York City Red Guards across the river, but I think we'll be breaking through. These troops, once that's defeated, the tank division should have no problem getting through there. In China, the divisions have not yet recovered completely, so we'll focus on Indonesia for now. All right, the big question is, there are troops coming from the east. Can we break through there before that happens? And I have my doubts, because we might be able to push before they're able to reinforce, but it's a big if, really. If we can make that happen. So, but let's see. They are weakening, and so are our divisions, really. We're running a full frontal assault against the entrenched Sumatra divisions in the mountains, and they might get the Borneo division to relieve them, unless we can push them out of their position first. Okay, now the Borneo division has arrived, but can we push the Sumatra division out before they can engage in combat? And the answer is we can, which means we have now cut off 2 enemy divisions from... It would have been great if they had escaped west, but we've now cut off 2 enemy divisions from supply. So they should immediately begin, and they are immediately counterattacking as well, which means we should be able to hold this, despite the fact that we're relatively they're immediately counterattacking north. But unfortunately, it looks like it looks like we're abandoning the capital. That is less than ideal. So how are we going to play this? Hard-won victory, only to be squandered by our Indonesian rebels, because if they evacuate Batavia, then we're stuck here. We're not getting out. So unfortunately, that means we have to retreat north towards Batavia, and There goes our trap. There goes our military success, unless they don't make a move. But I doubt that they would. Oh, they're moving east. Okay, we might be able to get away with this, but we have to keep a very close eye on this. So right now, the 60th Mountain is in a dire position to hold. The Indonesians have reinforced. The problem is obviously that the capital is empty. So we do not want the capital to be empty, and that we are falling back north for now, and then letting the Indonesians handle the position here. And we are getting we can get the 64th involved already in a counterattack against the Germans and try to push them back. So we're going to have to give you a new front line east, and that line will be to defend the capital, while we are working on the cleanup operation unless the Indonesians decide to secure the capital again. Now you could help with a counterattack. I wouldn't mind that, but we do have to make sure that very much make sure that we're not losing the capital. It's the only port we're having. The attack across the straits is actually looking dangerously effective, but we're chipping away 2 divisions would be a good first step towards salvaging this whole situation. All right, Chinese volunteers have recovered, so once the counterattack there has been completed, then we are actually going to work on that. And okay, we are going to need a shorter front line for starters. I don't want these divisions to retreat. We're going to stick to this line here, please. And so you please stay, and we'll keep the defense up. And we do need to break this position relatively urgently now, such that we don't lose these encircled divisions here. All right, that is still ongoing. Okay, we are trying to push the Germans back. Unfortunately, this is happening again in the mountains, and we are both extremely exhausted. And I can't pull the 60th south from Batavia. But we have managed to push the Germans back, which means we're then poised towards, even if we lose this position, which we are now we're now potentially ready to attack the Germans. But the 64th will have to stem this alone, because the 60th is needed in the north to defend Batavia from enemy incursion. Because we cannot, despite our best efforts, convince our military contacts with the Indonesian rebels to send the troops north and defend the capital. Okay, here we're still, we'll rejoin, so let's see what it looks like here. Definitely join the assault here, and you as well. We'll need all tanks on deck. And we have managed to do so. So perfect, which means we are immediately going to begin the cleanup operation against the encircled, and we have got 3. How many we've got? I think there were 6 all in all, but doable. All right, so they're trying to break out, and again, we're going to let them exhaust themselves against the Indonesian defenders here. While the 64th is recovering. We have to run this assault before the 8th is defeated in the north. These guys should be running, and they're encircled, and they should be running out of supply relatively soon. The problem is I can't bring the 60th in, and they still got sufficient supply that they can probably hold here. I just don't have time anymore, because once the troops break through in the north, then we lose the encirclement. Unfortunately, unfortunately we are fighting in the jungle, and it looks like we will not be. Okay, we're gonna have to wait first. Yes, because now they're joining the assault in the north, but I do need to let the. Oh my gosh! I need to let the 64th regain some strength. we can. Yeah, I don't think we can. No, we're gonna have to keep attacking. I don't think we can actually hold this, which means we might have to evacuate through Batavia, because if we lose this position here and these troops get pushed back, then they reconnect. We have to. And then I think we're out of options at that point, and then we will have to, they're getting completely pushed back towards Surabaya, and I think then we will have to evacuate through Batavia, because that is then going to be the end of the Indonesian rebellion. We'll see. The 64th will do whatever it can to try and salvage this. Okay, we're on the 22nd of July, which means the German capital decision has just changed, which means we are probably have done the first. Where's the stranglehold gone? Oh, it's over here now. So, okay, civilian industry to target country minus 15% now. So we should. I haven't taken. I should have looked at the numbers, but I'm not sure if we got some factories back. What we should have. We might have to change the conscription laws at some point. All right, but we now have to do the next one. So let's see what we got. We can. I think it's all 90 days. Yeah, it's all 90 days. Okay, we can do the energy autarky law, which gives us 5 stability and remove Japanese rights on the Sakhalin resources. This would give me. This would remove German resources and more decisions, which give us oil. This would be giving us some more resources. This is a railway MIO, which I don't think we need at this point. They acquire the Buchhaltungs- und Kreditbank, the accounting and credit bank. That is, that's going to cost us 8% consumer goods factory, but that's expensive though. That's taking two down. Okay, can't really do that. Don't need the naval dockyard. We could tax the foreign shares, honestly, because that gives us plus 10% political power gain, which we really urgently need. So I think that's a good next step to start taxing foreign shares, and that's going to take 90 days. All right, but obviously there have been ramifications of what we were starting to do here. Well, I'm assuming that this is related in some way. Foreign companies owned plenty of industrial complexes, real estate, land, forests, and so on in Russia. As they are being put into Russian hands, there is a spot for good entrepreneurial spirit. Are we getting oligarchs? That's that 1990 redux. Some Russians called Chernoman after the Black Monday, Cherny Pondelnik, have managed to gain a lot of these assets. Often people from already wealthy backgrounds, no surprise there. But there are also some rags to riches stories, those who have become the nouveau riche of Russia. New money with cars and fancy houses following the latest fashion fads in New York and Vienna. Not in Paris, because syndicalism doesn't do fashion. So we could applaud that, which gives us 2 civilian factories and 3% market liberalism, but annoys the left. Or we could take it away, which gives us 50 political power and annoys the right. Now, we have already annoyed the right, I believe. Yes, so we are already losing a bit of political power from doing that. So I'm thinking annoying the left is the better side at this point. Plus, I can really use 2 civilian factories and 3% market liberalism, because that compensates somewhat for the political power things. So I think we are getting party popularity is buffering that. But of course, now we're paying the price, because both of them are now wary, and we're losing 1% stability and 2% factory output. So this is going to be a constant battle of keeping these under control. All right, quick look. PSA volunteers. Have we managed to collapse? I think we've managed to collapse that pocket. So let's have a quick look. How many troops have gone down? About I would say close to 40,000 troops have surrendered, which means we now can set up for the next operation, which is going to be towards Minneapolis. So we have to adjust the front lines to get that pushed north. And we are going to launch the assault against Minneapolis. So let's get the tank divisions moving north. From there on, we can probably, depending on how many troops are there actually in the north, maybe cut them off at the Great Lakes here and see if we can just destroy the northern flank entirely. Or we could try to link up with the southern push and clear out the salient here towards St. Louis. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But that was definitely a good victory here. How's it looking in China actually? Let's rejoin the fight. Let's see if we can push the Japanese back across the river and stabilize this front line, and then maybe move to something more productive. But I don't see how we can make any headwinds against this massive amount of troops here. So right now, Indonesian volunteers it is. All right, so this is the critical one. The 8th is not going to hold, which means we have to do the best we can. And I don't want to I can't abandon the capital because it's our last port, because we're not going to get out from there if we can't deal with this. Oh, there are the ramifications, I think. Let's have a quick look. Probably look at the bigger map at this point. As fear of nationalization looms ever stronger over foreign capitalists in Russia, they have been fleeing in droves. At the same time, the German government has been offering significant benefits for companies who relocate everything out of Russia, including many skilled workers like engineers. This will hurt us in the short term, but in the long term, it is what we have been aiming for anyway. So that means, yes, so the German economic influence, hang on, didn't it already change by 1? Yeah, it's down to 6. So it's going to change 1 more. Okay, so we actually get follow-on events on this. Seeing that we are starting to crack down on German economic influence, the German businesses operating inside Russia are obviously running away, which is reducing the influence, but they are taking 3 civilian factories with them. That's not great. And we get 140 days worth of flight of German capital. Good. Well, we got to get through that eventually. So that gets it down to 5. So we're probably at net. Yeah, we're at net. We got another civilian factory out of this. So we are now down to, that'll eventually go away. We're now down to 12% civilian economy, which is weakening the German civilian economy. But yeah, things don't look good. I could attempt to reinforce the position here with the 60th. The problem is we're leaving Batavia open, which means if the Sumatra division decides to cross the bridge into Batavia, we have basically lost 2 divisions, and I'm not risking that. So not due to the not for the incompetence of the Indonesian rebels. So we will do everything we can. And they are joining the fight now, I believe, as well. Are they? No, they're not. This might be a defensive action. But we do everything we can with the 64th. Brazil has won the World Cup. Congratulations, Brazil. Well done. Okay. Brazil wins the World Cup. Brazil is currently not in the best state as far as I remember, soccer-wise. So we'll have to go through that. The crowd goes wild with Brazil as the host nations upset the world of football. Uruguay's reign lasted since before the first World Cup, and it seemed to be continuing as they were up 1-0 at halftime in the final against the hosts. However, this was in Brazil. However, Brazil's pressure resulted in 2 goals in the second half, and Batatais, the goalkeeper from the local club, held his ground against the Uruguayan counteroffensive. History was made, and now 2 nations can claim the title of world champion. Congratulations to Brazil. Just be careful if you're playing against Germany. Things might go sideways in the future. All right. This is mighty sketchy. So we're doing what we can here. But these guys are going to get pushed back from the assault in the north, unfortunately, which means they reconnect, which means we can no longer yeah, which means we're no... Okay, we've managed to destroy one division, however. So that's not bad. Okay, let's stop the assault. We managed to destroy the German division. That could have been worse. They're not going to hold, which means these are reconnecting, unfortunately. But let's see where this goes. So we're going to let the 64th regain some of its strength, and then we will see. They've been pushed back to no great surprise, which means we are now we're now really slotted in here. I would love them to move south, however, such that we can. Unfortunately, where are we going from here? So we've got 2 Indonesian divisions here now. Unfortunately, none of them is defending the capital. We do need to destroy these divisions, but we can't do so unless we manage to get an encirclement, because they can always retreat across the straits in the north. So pushing south here isn't going to help us at all, because pushing them back across the straits is simply just going to make this more defensible. We're still holding Surabaya, but it doesn't look great. We would have to take the port, but unfortunately the Sumatra division is dug in here, and we can no longer push out of the capital in order to take that. So yeah, we're not going east, which means we are sort of at a stalemate here of sorts. What I don't like is that Indonesian position, which links up our lines here. So ideally we'd be pushing, but I think if we push them back from this line, we'd be pushing them north. So probably maybe the best we can do is push them out north to make it more defensible, and then try to do something east instead of going for the destruction. So maybe we are moving in and see if we can manage to. Okay, no, never mind. The Indonesians are actually moving in. In that case. Oh, that means no, we have to move because they're leaving this to the 8th, which is completely battered. The defense of the lines here. Nicaragua declared war on Honduras. Okay. Have we actually joined? I thought we were joining the assault here. Okay, we'll do that again. And here we are. We now have the tanks in position. This is a river crossing. But I think we are just simply going to move, yeah, just along the railway lines. We're going to support this assault north towards Minneapolis, and we're going to go south across towards Minneapolis. Okay, that's that. Chinese volunteers engaged. Indonesian volunteers in trouble. So the fact that they're leaving the defense here to the 8th is troublesome. Because so let's try to stabilize the area. Okay, they have taken the position here, so now we are trying to we'll try to push them back across the straits and see if we can stabilize this region here. And once we have our mountain division engaged, then this should work a little better. How's the air situation, by the way? There's no air force. There's enemy air force over Sumatra, but nothing in the south. But yeah, it looks increasingly that we will have to probably retreat soon, because I don't think they're going to hold particularly much longer, unless we can manage to secure the lines here and then make breakthroughs potentially towards the harbor. If we can cut them off there, and the friendlies can hold Samarang and Surabaya, then they would be running out of supply. So that would be an essential push to make. But for that, we have to secure the rear. So first operation is to push them back across the straits if we can. And okay, we've now joined the fight, but the terrain is not particularly helpful. All right, you can have bombers, yes. How are we looking on construction, actually? We're starting to build the first military factory, but it's still very slow going here. We do need to get up towards partial mobilization as well for an extra 10%, for an extra 10 or even 20% construction speed. That's probably one of the next things we need to do, to be honest. We also have the potential to get an industrial concern for, I think it was this one. Yeah, for construction speed, but it's the same price. We don't have 150 political power, so there's that. All right, let's see how this fight is going, and if we can manage to secure the western approaches, and then swing east. Okay, in the north, the assault on the Japanese positions has once again failed. So this looks a bit sketchy here, to be honest. Be a bit careful there with these troops. Anyway, so that's failed once more. In the US, we have taken Minneapolis, so the tank advances are going at expected speeds. Now the question is, where do we go from here? Minneapolis is not yet connected, but we should have supply to push. We probably want to push north and just cut them off cut off the whole northern flank. So for that, we will once again need to concentrate our tank forces. And I think we can. These are both river attacks, so they're less than ideal. So we'll probably. We could try to take St. Paul and get with 2 divisions. See if we can break them here. I think we might be able to. So if that works, then we'll send the 3rd in. So we've got the 5th and the 3rd, and your task is going to be to simply break through here, and then we'll move north from there. Indonesian volunteers, we're still fighting in the jungle. It's really hard going, and I think by now we're starting to see the Luftwaffe coming in. The German Air Force, whatever it's called at this point, probably not Luftwaffe, but Kaiserliche irgendwas, something. We'll see, but we might be able to break this. At which point we could then push north and try to secure this line. China, it's holding. Here we are. Okay, we are making progress here. So we will leave the 5th behind and then keep moving north with the 3rd. And once we've cut them off, I think we can already begin consolidation here as well. Once that's happening. Tanks are successful in the US, where we are struggling elsewhere. All right, computing machine and concentrated 3 are done, which means we have some research decisions to make. Okay, where are we at? We're already doing the infantry techs. We don't do the support company techs yet. How's my talking about research? How are my flame tanks doing? Oh, they seem to be done. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Flamethrower tank. Yes. So we have researched the flame tank company, which means the heavy flame tanks are now potentially an equipment that we can produce, which is great. I have to design it, of course, but that means we're done here. We do need improved armor for the tanks. We're still quite far away from the next heavy tank, so the T100 is what we're dealing with for the time being. We have an advanced flamethrower tech down here, which has probably been unlocked because of this. But improved armor protection, that's something we're going to start researching. And how are we on industrials? We do have a research bonus for construction 4, but that's still a year and a half, because it's not a ahead of time bonus. It's just a research bonus. So I'm feeling like this is not yet worth spending the research slot on. Instead, we might just go for improved radio. Yeah, getting better coordination so people actually shoot at the same targets is a valuable thing to do. All right, we are making headway here. I just have to keep a bit of an eye on the states as well, because we are getting counterattacked here, and I'm not entirely trusting the Pacific states to hold the lines, but I think we're doing all right. Okay, we are producing outdated equipment. Which one would that be? It's the we're still producing one. Oh, why is the Nakimovets class outdated? Was that meant to be like a last submarine or something, and I just missed to set that to 1? Probably. Okay, so we'll do it like this. We'll make one more, and then that's that. All right. We are July 1938. We really need to start getting ahead with our industry, to be honest. Okay. But we have broken through, which means we can now keep pushing and get the support in from the defenders at the capital. And there are more German troops landing here. Okay, the defenders need to hold the port against a few German divisions. Okay, so that's essential now. And that we are not losing. I'm actually gonna bring the 64th back north because, yeah, they are starting to rapidly send reinforcements, and but we do have to hold the capital. That is the prime. The prime importance. They are holding the port of Samarang now. I think Indonesia is lost, to be honest. They have lost significant territory in the north. A few troops have retreated almost towards Singapore, and I don't see us doing an awful lot here still. So I'm going to retreat. But yeah, the Dutch East Indies have annexed Indonesia, and Indonesia has capitulated. They announced its total surrender to the Dutch East Indies. The Dutch East Indian forces, along with a number of independent Indonesian authoritarian Democrat supporters, have forced Sukarno and his government into exile, as a new government has been established to rule Indonesia in cooperation with the Dutch East Indies. Johannes Theodorus Forstner has remarked that this mutual agreement will bring a new age of prosperity and cooperation to Indonesia. Sukarno responded by stating that even in exile, he shall continue to fight for Indonesia and support all resistance efforts in his homeland. Uncertain times indeed. Our volunteers return. We have done the best we could, but the Indonesian collapse was probably inevitable, given the support from the German East Asian troops. All right. So with that out of the way, pretty much. We can throw our weight potentially behind this assault once more, and see if we can actually manage to make a difference. But yeah, these troops are so well dug in at this point. I think throwing men and material at this is becoming a little pointless, especially that this is still a relatively strong fortification, and we are fighting under red air. So we'll just leave them there for now. We'll see if we can find a better use for them eventually. All right, let's focus on our American adventures, because that's where we are actually making a bit more progress here at this point. The volunteers are returning, which means potentially we can. Do we need to engage in yet another anywhere else? Italy might become an issue, but it looks like friendly troops have managed to enact some naval landings. And yeah, that seems to have fractured them. No, Italy seems to be doing fine. And yeah, we're not getting involved in India. So for now, it's these two. Okay, so if we can't break this, if we can't break these positions, maybe we can. Let's get in there, see if we can manage. We've pushed one back. See if we can manage to get the mountaineers involved. And the Imperial Advisory Council is done, which means Kirill I now gains 10% stability modifier, which means we should get additional stability out of this. And the advisor cost has been reduced, which is great. Yes, let's see, but I doubt that we can beat these. If we can beat back the Japanese, that would be great, but these Japanese divisions are powerful. All right, so now these are actually going to become more and more important as we go. But I'm still focusing on the economy. We could address the people now because we have 33% party popularity. This would 6% research speed and daily market liberal support. That would be and additional 5% and techno. Oh my gosh, this is extremely tempting. But economy, focus Terry economy. So we could do the assimilation of the bandit states. What's the situation there right now in terms of resistance? Resistance targets 12%, 13%. So if we look at our occupation, we are on civilian oversight, so they are growing, and we will be then able to core these territories eventually, which is good. But Petrograd's security sounds also rather important at this point, because right now the Reichspakt has extended its tendrils into Sweden, whereas Norway has joined the Third International. Finland, however, has not done anything at this point, and Finland is national populist, so they might actually join the Reichspakt at some point. I think securing Petrograd would be a relatively important task. So if we were to take Petrograd security, it's at 21 days. We could either invite Finland into the Moscow Accord, or we could invade, not Finland, but there are a few decisions that enables. Do we have anything else right now that's economic? This would be good. This becomes more and more important. So many things to do, so little time. But I think we'll get this out of the way. It's a 21-day focus. So let's begin our foreign policy approach a bit more here, and see if we can make our presence felt in Europe. In terms of experiments, we don't have enough breakthrough yet on the land doctrine, and we don't actually have the air one either. But we're still far behind. We're probably not going to need 20 on rifles. We're going to go with 15 for now. We're doing okay on support equipment at this point, and the more we might probably not need 10 on trucks as well. We probably are. So lots of factories, but we do need to start prioritizing the aircraft production. And I think I'm just going to, we might actually just have to focus on fighters for the beginning. So this actually has fallen to 0% because of no factories anymore assigned. So we'll leave it there. We might get to that production, but fighter production is becoming more and more a priority. So we are going to drag that up a bit and get them to take the next factories that are becoming available. Start ramping up fighter production, which means we're going to have to start trading for rubber at some point, but I'm just avoiding it for as much as possible. All right, here we are still banging our heads against the Japanese defenders here, and it's hard going trying to dislodge them from these positions. Why are they so powerful? Is it entrenchment? Not even. It's mostly it's fortifications and the skill. So we are trying to dislodge them. Problem is going to be that they make it back before we can do anything. All right, so I think we have managed to cut off the American troops with this rush towards the Great Lakes in the north. So I'd say we'll finish off the destruction of American positions in the north before we do anything else, really. And then the whole northern flank is open, which means we can then pivot south and rush towards Chicago. Alternatively, we could see if we can do some. How are their supply lines here? Yeah, they have no supply here. So if we take Milwaukee and Chicago, then this whole flank, basically all the way up to St. Louis, collapses because they have no supply in the area. So yeah, we'll probably rush towards Chicago once we've cleaned up the north. This fight might be winnable after all, if we can manage to... Oh dear. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. The Japanese have landed in the rear and have cut off some of our troops, some of our friendly troops here. Okay, that takes priority. So we'll abandon this attempt for now, and we are going to try. No, don't go through there. We're going to try and relieve the friendly troops in a desperate attempt to moving east, trying to reach our cut-off friendly divisions. Okay, synthetic oil experiments have finished. That's great, which means we can officially now actually build refineries. That's still ahead of time. That is ahead of time. We don't need the fortifications. That's all ahead of time. Air research, actually. Armor-piercing bombs would be more for, I think, for anti-shipping. Everything else is pretty much still ahead of time. So the question would we're not going to need the large airframes. This is still way ahead. So that's not an awful lot. We could start the survivability studies just to get in there, but we're not having the production ramping up yet anyway. These are still ahead. Actually, for the heavy tanks, where are the next heavy guns? It's the medium cannon. I don't think they're in the intermediaries. Medium howitzer, medium cannon turret, assault gun. Oh, that might be interesting. I don't remember seeing this before. Maybe this is new. This might be a good fit. This might be a good fit for the sort of infantry tanks that I'm thinking of. Extra collateral damage. Okay, so big explosions. Yeah, that sounds like something we want. So that's in here. So we may as well get that underway. There we go. And that'll help for the tank design. Okay, so situation here in the States is relatively prosperous, but the question is, can we rush to the, and that is unfortunately another fortification that needs to be taken. Can we rush in to push out the enemies and save the friendly troops that are getting encircled here? That is the big question. So we're running our divisions in and see if we can manage to help with this push. Yeah, we're throwing our weight behind it. It's hilly territory, but we are facing four enemy divisions, which again are relatively well defended because we are running up against fortifications here. Is everybody in on the assault? Alternatively, we could try to retake the port in the south, which might actually be the better option, to be honest. I don't think we can get them out of there. So let's instead join the assault on the port and see that we retake the port if possible, and that might help. That might help as well. Okay, tanks are on the move, and front lines are becoming a bit fluid here. But I think we are simply going to run through and destroy what is going to be amounting to another few divisions here and there, and then we'll focus again. So here, French Republic has annexed the Wadai Empire. I think these were African rebels. Here the big question becomes: can we start joining in? So we were reducing air superiority by the use of anti-air guns, which is something we need to do. Yes, yeah, we're starting to deploy all the possible reserves that we have here, but that is going to be difficult to dig out the Japanese, because that also. Oh, actually no, that's just a sea fort. That's not a land fort. So that might. Why are they so well defended? Oh, because they're absolutely senior troops. That's why. These are crack divisions that we're fighting here. That is going to be very difficult to dislodge them. All right, fighting in the north here to mop up the last remaining troops, and this is okay. The Indonesian volunteers have returned to Petrograd. That is good, but yeah, I'm afraid this might be a loss for the Chinese forces unless we can make a miracle happen here in Qinghuangdao. So if these divisions would maybe join from the north, but again the first division is getting pushed back. We'll let them return. But yeah, I don't see us breaking these Japanese positions. They're simply too powerful. So we're not throwing away Russian lives needlessly. We'll let the Chinese deal with this situation. And I think we might just these troops are lost. There's no way we're getting through that. We might have a chance here. Okay, that's our final push. Cuba has joined the Reichspakt. That could have gone better. We'll make a final push there, and we actually now have some political power that we can use. Okay, not doing the press censorship campaign, but 52 days. So we are currently at 1.15. So even if we spend it all, we're still getting it back in time to get another 50 going. So that's good. We can reform the Cossack hosts, but that's not industrial. I am more interested right now in industrial. This would give us, this takes 80 days. This would give us stability and railway, which is important, but not as important as industry right now. So that the gold mines gives us 2 civs within 40 days. That's definitely one we're taking. Which leaves us with 24. This can't be done. And I think, yeah, actually that's pretty much it. We could do one of the railway upgrades. So we might do these at some point. Okay, let's see if we can rescue the friendly troops. No, but it looks like they're already being destroyed. 3 Russian divisions pushing into the hills, trying to reconnect with the encircled troops near Shangwaiyuan, but with enemy reinforcements coming in and the mountain divisions already completely exhausted, I don't see us being able to push this. Nope. These divisions are lost. We will return to the front lines and focus on the American situation, where I think we are wiping out the last remaining divisions, including some French divisions actually. That some enemy French divisions that have joined, or at least one of them that has joined the fight. This is a very quintessentially Russian thing. The taxation of sales of vodka has remained one of the major sources of state income for Russia ever since the day of Tsar Ivan I. The system has gone through a number of changes, from state monopoly to private alcohol licenses. It is the latter system that was adopted in the 1920s as part of the liberalization of the economy. Any sale of hard alcohol requires an annually renewed license, with its price based on the scope of sales. Sounds about right. The intent of the law is to both regulate alcohol markets and raise state revenue from it. The temperance movement, oh dear, are we going into prohibition? Has kept in Russia. Sorry. Okay. Let's see what they're up to. The temperance movement has kept calling for reduced licenses and, in general, limiting the sale of alcohol, while the producers generally prefer laxer regulation and easier licenses. Opponents of the devil's drink do make good points. Alcohol is proven to increase crime and drive the poorest Russians into poverty, but its effect on the economy is also great. Many peasants gain extra revenue through vodka sales, and if the supply of vodka is reduced, it will only create a new black market. Besides, prohibition does not work. You have to lift people up out of poverty, not by prohibiting them from drinking alcohol. Besides, the more vodka is sold, the more the state gains revenue. Some have proposed to support beer breweries over vodka. That sounds like a suspiciously German proposal. I don't think we will be. I don't think we will be. We will be replacing vodka with beer in Russia anytime soon, unless the Germans win the war. Where were we? Support beer breweries or vodka, as it seems the milder and less harmful drink. Okay, so we have a few options which are probably going to be annoying the left or the right. So we can increase the price of alcohol. No, actually, no. We can get 50 political power at 5% popularity. Interesting. We can lose. We can buy ourselves a civilian factory for stability, or we can do the beer thing, which isn't happening, honestly. That's a matter of principle, really. 5% stability is great and all, but I think 50 political power current would mean that we could kick off another. Another project. What do we still have? This would be 2 military factories, and this would be oil. 2 military factories would be great. So we could trade some party popularity for, because there was, if I wasn't mistaken, there was something that, was it a decision or was it a, I'm not sure. There was something that gave us continuous party popularity. So the market liberals would potentially, and we don't really need to do the address to people right now. So I'm tempted to go for the higher alcohol licenses for 50 political power. Or we could get a free civilian factory right now for 3.5% base stability. We are pretty decent on stability, and we've still got some room with decisions to get that higher. 1 civilian factory. It's very Look, it's Russia, right? We're relaxing the market. That's it. There we go. 1 free civilian factory done. All right. Volunteers in China aren't really getting anywhere. I think we'll be playing plainly defensive at this point, and we'll see where the Chinese are getting to. We'll continue. Continue in the north here, wiping out these enemy divisions. But feeling that it is now autumn 1938. I feel like we are going to need to do something relatively soon about military production. Okay, Petrograd security. Petrograd is now the former capital for a reason, as it is situated close to the Baltic countries and Finland. Any great powers could use these countries as a base through which to decisively strike and occupy any similarities to the current events are purely coincidental. Delivering a significant blow to our morale and industry. If we are to protect it, security measures with our neighbors must be made regardless of their opposition. Okay, so that's completed. Good. So what do we do next? We could address the people, and that gets us, that reduces the anger, actually, both of them. I'm not sure if that's -1 simply because, okay, I'm saving that because it could be -1 simply because, oh no, there are 2. Okay, so that would reduce that. That's great. We pressure Finland. What happens? Demands to Finland. So could we potentially run an attack against Finland? I think we'll do that. We'll do that very quickly. So let's see if we can get Finland to align with us instead of potentially joining the Reichspakt, because that would be bad. If we get Finland to align and start securing the Baltics from the north, that would be great. Okay, pressuring Finland it is. That's what we do. And the next option is going to be, I'm almost tempted to do this one simply because of the research speed. That would be great. This is necessary. This or we do this one. addressing we've been sort of flirting with this for a long time, but this would give us 5% stability, 6% research plus 5%, 11% research speed, and daily market liberal support. We're doing this. Okay, that's the next one. And there we have it. Now let's, I think before we end the episode, we can do it next time. So we've got some enemy divisions here encircled in the north. The war against the combined syndicates is going well. It looks like friendly troops are close to St. Louis. Even the Brazilians have joined after winning the Soccer World Cup. We have potentially a pretty good, if we push towards Chicago, we have a pretty good, and if they lose St. Louis, then the whole northern front might collapse, and I think that would be pretty much the end of the war for the syndicates. Because if we are going to start, we have to get as much done as possible, because if we're going to start, if Finland refuses and forces our hand to secure the northern part of Europe, then volunteers will be recalled once more, and things will be dicey. So that's that. We also, at some point, need to start working on the. So this is why I'm trying to boost up the civilian industry so heavily, because we are going to have to start building up the infrastructure along the front lines as well for an eventual fight between the Moscow Accord and the Reichspakt.